I looked at as a destructive season turned out to be a whole redirection. Certain things must happen to make way for other things to come in place. And I like to tell people that when I took the different road that I hadn't thought about, most of my life has been able to unfold because of this other turn that life took me at. Yeah. And I'm thinking if I had continued to join at Makerere, I hadn't thought beyond a scholarship. Who knows, I could probably be out there unemployed, not knowing what to do, stuff like that. Yeah. And it will bring me back to purpose. When you realize your purpose, that one thing God wrote on your name before the world ever started to define you.
Karibu.
No way.
Musibire muta. Mwasibye mutya. Amahoro. Agandi. Bible. Habari gani? Muraho. Sangonini. Kopango. Odeo. For those of you who are wondering what that was, these are some of the various local greetings found in East Africa's diverse languages. Welcome to She Center, the female podcast, where I dive into the issues and experiences that affect women everywhere. I am your host, Resti Kansime, and I am passionate about creating a safe space for women to share their stories and triumphs. I want to thank you for tuning into my podcast, and I would love for you to join our community and stay connected with us beyond this episode. You can find us on Instagram at @the_SheCenter_podcast and follow us on Facebook at the She Center Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and hit that follow and like button on our social media to be part of the conversation. Hi guys, welcome back once again to the She Center podcast. I hope you are enjoying the new season. We are talking about why She Center, why does it matter, why now, why am I starting She Center for East African women, and I would say African women, because clearly all our problems are they're affecting the whole continent. So if you're an African out there listening to this, whether you're in the diaspora, whether you're living home in Nairobi, Kenya, Ghana, I have people who listen sometimes from different countries. This is for you. I think you can learn a lot from this. And today, to kick us off, I have someone whose life and work speaks directly into that question. It's really inspiring to see young people doing things that many of us do when we get to the age of 30. She's an advocate, she's doing MCing, she's a host for events. I'm like, girl, how many things are you doing? And now an author. Her book, You Are the Big Picture, Frame It Well, is just good. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's a guide for anyone who is ready to discover who they truly are and step into a life of purpose. So I want you to welcome Linda Musiime, and we are going to discuss so many things today, but most importantly, we had already started the discussion. We are going to talk about purpose, identity, and what is limiting young people from walking into purpose and becoming, basking in who God created them to be. So welcome, Linda. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, Resti?
I'm good. A little bit overwhelmed, but I think in a good way. I feel like I took on so much. I recently applied for this fellowship, and it was quite interesting. You know, when you ask people for a reference, hey, I asked a lady who is part of my church, she lives in America. I'm like, can you please write me a reference? You know me spiritually. And then I asked my relative who is like a professor, I'm like, I need someone who knows my academic, background. And both of them, two people who don't know each other, were unfortunately saying that I take on too much.
Because
and
that's actually who you
this is
are.
a communication.
It's inbuilt.
Yes. Exactly, yeah. So I am trying to focus I know my mind is all over because there's a lot of things that I want to do. I'm sure we're going to talk about this because you look like someone who is also doing everything. I can tell. I can always see myself in someone from just watching your pictures. I can see you're excited. You're like, there's this, there's this, there's this. So I know that we're going to talk about this because normally I understand that when you're finished, school, or when you have these big ideas, you're very excited to do certain things. And in many cases, focusing on too many things can then become your limitation because you don't know how to prioritize specific things. And I'm trying to, I think I've been doing quite a good job on trying to limit my trying to be everywhere, because these days I can say, okay, I have this book idea. No, we'll try that another time. I have this. I was like, because last year I was just doing everything. But now I'm trying to focus on making sure that people understand why I started She Center and who She Center is for. So this year, I'm thinking maybe another season will start this year, but in this season of the podcast, my guests are people who I'm pinpointing, like I'm picking specific people because I see the work they are doing and they speak into what I'm trying to do at She Center. So please introduce yourself to us. Tell us who you are, what you do, what you like to do, what you don't like, so we can start from there.
Okay. First and foremost, I'd like to appreciate you, Resty, for finding me worthy that I could come on here and speak to your audience. That means a lot, yeah. Because back in the day, we used to think people that get hosted on platforms like these, they are high end. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much for hosting me on here today. My name is Linda Musiime. I work with Victoria University as an e-learning officer in the Office of the Academic Registrar. I am an author of an incredibly beautiful book. Yeah, the bigger picture from it well. I am a public speaker. I MC events. I panel. I deliver keynote speeches. And I am a strong advocate for self-discovery, purposeful living. So if anything, I totally believe that real success must have a very firm foundation. And the very firm foundation starts with knowing who you are, which is your identity, and then why are you here, which is purpose. Yeah, so that's basically who I am.
That's amazing. I love the work that you're doing. I think I would say I'm an advocate for so many things, but identity. Ever since 2020 came, I sat down and I was like, God, all these things that have happened to me, why did they happen? And I really felt this strong, when you have that strong feeling that God is telling you something. I tell people, God told me, write it down, write every problem you've been through, write everything that you think is wrong with this world with regards to women, and let's start there. And when I did, I always show people my book where I wrote that. When I wrote everything down, I now started to find solutions to them. And one of those solutions was faith. So in discovering God, I found out who I am. I also authored a book called Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, because I felt like learning from Psalm 139, repeating it out loud every day, really gave me that understanding that all the days, like every part of my life from the day I was born, all of it, God knew He was there and there's a purpose for it. So I started to look at my past, I started to look at my challenges, I started to look at everything about myself through the lens of purpose. I started to think, okay, if I have learned about myself, if I am growing in faith, how can I pull these friends and relatives and people I see in my community? So I started a blog post, I started writing, like I'll just journal about my favorite sermons. And I call it my favorite sermons.life because it's like someone's about life and how I'm learning from them. And then I went ahead, I started this podcast because I was like, I have this vision, but it doesn't really make that much sense to many people. So the podcast was basically to tell stories of East African women, for them to be able, like for people to see themselves in each other's story. And I hope that through listening to this, a young adult out there or even an older person, because there are so many people in their 30s and 40s who
Yeah.
have literally not discovered their purpose. I was 30 when I discovered mine, and I got actually not discovered, but actually started to find out why God put me on this earth. Maybe I've always known, but it became clear at the age of 30. So it's so amazing when I find a young person who is already living that way, because normally we used to have such people back in the day, but I think there weren't that many because we didn't have social media. You know, it would take time. It's now when you hear like a podcast and someone says, yeah, when I was 18 I was doing this, and you're like, in Uganda?
18?
Where? You know, I've listened to so many people talk about what they did at 18. I authored a book. Where? How did you even write the book? So to know right now that someone can write a book in their 20s, I think back in the day we just think people who write books are these professors
Yeah.
who are like this.
That was
So
a
yes,
myth.
what was that moment for you? When was it when you discovered your purpose, and how was that experience for you?
Okay, I love to talk about purpose a lot because it's something that I can passionately discuss for people, and I feel good about it. Yeah, I like to tell people that finding out purpose, your purpose, is very important. Why is it important? It's because you realize every other thing that's outside of your purpose, you're forcing life. And the life that you're forcing is not coming together. Why? Because that's literally not where you're supposed to be. That's not the road you're actually supposed to take. So you're taking wrong roads that are going to take you to where you won't actually desire. Yeah. And purpose is a huge aspect of one's life. You can't carry purpose on your own. And for me, I could literally say that I had always known what I wanted to be, but it took lots of factors to shape my purpose. Yeah, it took the environment, the people, the conversations, and mentorship programs, lots of things. Because I had always been a speaker from when I was younger. I always loved to address audiences. Going back to my primary school, yeah. I always love to stand before assemblies and I address people and I address my fellow students. And then I equally loved to, discussing for my classmates, standing before the class and I discuss for people. And now when I got into my secondary school, I started to become a prefect. I was an information prefect in my S1. Yeah, and I used to read news twice a week for the school I was attending. And then I got into debate. So every other thing was pointing me to public speaking, just that I had never really known, where this would take me. I had never looked at the bigger picture. It started to make sense when I got into campus, and I started to be a part of the groups that were in alignment to my values, the things I liked to do. And one of the programs that I attended, it was called Teach, Mentor, and Educate. That was the biggest turnaround for everything on my end. And its founder, you guys can check her out, Julia Muhumuza. Yeah, she's a founding member of Teach, Mentor, and Educate. And she brought us people that were giving us knowledge, teaching us about various things, time management, how to harness opportunities, and all of these many other things. And that's when I realized that there is also personal branding. Because I was a speaker, but I had not branded myself. I had no idea that you actually have to brand yourself to fit into certain spaces, to probably monetize skills, to probably attract people in your circle. Yeah. So when I learned about personal branding, I started to position myself like that. And I realized that also you could discover your talents, but sometimes you ought to actually get out and speak. I was able to start emceeing events at the campus I was attending for my undergraduate, which is Victoria University. And I reached out to our vice chancellor and I requested if I could MC events. And he told me all orientation events were mine to MC.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Good.
it was good training ground. Yeah.
Yes, true.
Because there I was able to just oppress my fears and be like, I can stand before people, I can speak to them, I can guide the room. So my emceeing started to get grounded from right there. And then when I started to MC and started to brand myself for people, so that if a person asked, who is Linda? You could easily tell who Linda is because I'm attached to a specific thing I'm doing.
Yes.
And now, after I had discovered my talents and I'm like, I'm a good speaker, I can speak. Then I started to MC events, and also personal branding did me a whole great deal, because that's when I learned that on Instagram you can't just put there some weird name like Star Girl. Those things won't sell you.
Mine was Riri knows this. I changed it.
So for anyone that's out there and your Instagram username is still those
Riri
funny,
knows this, please. Rihanna does not know you.
yeah, and that's really the thing. It could be looked
Yeah.
at as a really tiny thing, but it's big.
Yes.
It's big.
Yes.
So that's when I got to learn that your bio should really be a bio. Because I got to learn that even organizations get to check you out on your social media platforms to hire you. And
Even if it's
would
just
you-
a company, exactly. Even if it's like a company, like it's a person. They kind of
Yeah.
like, even if I'm not an organization, I'm looking to like see when I was reaching out to you. Like I had to study. I'm like, okay, this girl is a serious person. She's not just out there posting just
Yeah.
fun stuff. Like she's actually serious about what she's talking about. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So they got
Yeah.
to teach me. They got to teach me that even the captions that you attach to your pictures, they carry volumes. People are out here taking time to read a caption you attach to a picture. So when I understood personal branding, I'm like, okay, purpose, okay, identity. You realize that identity and purpose are interdependent, but also they require many other factors, external and internal, to work well. Yeah. And when I realized, one thing I was sure about is that from my childhood, I always dreamed to impact people. It's like, if there is anything that I know, I would so much love that I am out here and sharing the little that I know with someone that might not know. For me, I got an opportunity to get into TME, but not every other person is going to get an opportunity to get into TME. I have had an opportunity to speak to people, to rest here, and they have shared with me their knowledge. Not every other person out there will get the same opportunity. So I'm like, if I can do something, I will take time and I do it. So I knew I wanted to impact lives.
Yes.
And particularly, okay, if a person asked me, I would be like, particularly why I chose self-discovery. This book is all about identity and self-discovery in alignment to personal growth and career development. How can one move on and lead a purposeful life? I had gone through a discipleship class at the time, and I had studied about purpose. They had taught me a lot about purpose. They had taught me about my identity in Christ, and I got to realize that we are all created for a reason. And the sole reason as to why we are here is just so we are making known the kingdom of heaven. Okay, to be more specific, the name of the Lord. And in every other thing, we need to reflect the character of our Lord Jesus Christ. But also to do that, God wishes us dominion mandate. God does not want us to be here struggling. He gave us everything we need. I like to tell people that we have every other thing that we need. Yeah, he will guarantee us a good future, but he will not show us the process. And because if he showed us the end, what's the point of hustling through life? Yeah, so you have everything you need, but the question is, are you proactive enough? Are you standing in your identity and using that the Lord put upon your life to actually elevate yourself, to actually impact those around you, to actually make sure that the name of the Lord is glorified? So when I realized that, I'm like, I'll write a book and I'll try to sell as many as I can, so that whoever gets this book, they don't just read any other motivational book. I wanted for them to read and understand. I'll give an example of, okay, I don't want to call myself a fresh graduate. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm pursuing my master's degree. I actually graduate this year around October. I realized one thing. While I attended school studying my undergraduate, a bachelor's degree, we are lucky enough at my campus that we get placed. We get placed for internship. Something that other universities might not do, but here we are. We are Victorian students and we get placed. We have an opportunity that you're not out here looking for an internship place. We get placed in all the other organizations that we partner with. I'm like, Victoria University has just given you an opportunity, given you a whole opportunity, and I've placed you. For me, I did my internships at Speak Apartments, Wampeo Avenue, and my role was just one, to prove myself there. And now I'm thinking, these are spaces that we enter by just mentioning I am a student at Victoria University. And the big question was, if you can enter this place and by just mentioning you're a student of Victoria University, how about when you're no longer a student at Victoria University? Because I also used to witness how hard it was for all the other students from other universities to get into
internships.
those premises.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you've had this opportunity, go to Speak Apartments, create a stepping stone for yourself, that even after you're no longer affiliated to this organization, you can still get into a specific place and you are welcomed for who you are. So I'm like, universities might not just have internship placements. All the other universities have the opportunities with their space that come with you being attached to them. Some of these opportunities could be leadership opportunities. Yeah, you could choose to get into leadership. There are so many things. I hear at Makere there is this climate change thing, people be a part of it, and then this climate thing has some other thing that's superior that you can apply for, and you find one thing is leading you to the other and to the other. So I like to tell the young adults that use these opportunities. I don't want you entering university and you're not picturing the exit. Enter university, utilize the opportunities that are there so that by the time you graduate, you have set your own stepping stone. That the outside world can start on there. Because when you graduate and you have your own stepping stone, it gets easier. It does get easier because people know you for who you are, for what you've done, and for what you continue to do, and for your bigger vision.
I love everything you've said. Let me now first go back because you might lose me and I forget my questions, my follow-up questions. You shared so much about yourself, how you've managed to do that, but I understand that that's not. Sometimes we have a privilege over our lives where opportunities are available or we have the right people in our corner. But I would like to take you back to being a young girl in school. I know two kids can be in the school. Yes, they have managed to pay the school fees. Some of them, maybe their parents have not yet been able to even pay it, but others are there, others are on scholarship. But despite the fact that they are in the same environment, they have different surroundings. Like, who is your parent? Who is speaking into your heart? Were you born a specific, like a Christian, or were you born like your parents don't know anything about anything? So those are things that usually are like the roots. And I strongly believe that these are things that make us who we are. How you were raised, how you it affects how you see the world. It affects all those things. So I would like that to speak to a woman. What do you think, or if you were speaking to a parent, what do you think your parents, your community, that means your teacher, the friends and family that you had around you, what do you think that they did that helped you to have that strong foundation to easily be Linda? Because Linda cannot just have yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing like there has to be, it can be either a teacher who says you gotta do this, it can be
Yeah.
someone who says, oh, like someone just speaking life into you. It could be a pastor or a friend saying, man, you're such a good speaker, you should really do this for a living. Because those are things that we didn't look down on. There are so many people who have told me in my life that, Rusty, you just like talking is your thing. And I just always saw it as like, yeah, God, I'm sorry, I love talking, but why? Until sometime I reached and I thought I realized that is my gift. Like God gave me a gift that is to communicate. Like I can hold a room because I love talking and I have a loud like tone of voice. So from when I was in school, I could stand up and just start jazzing and I could hold a room and people would give me their attention. But what was I saying? Was it building people or was I just jazzing things? So at the end of the day, I would like us to speak to that young girl and then go ahead to talk about more in that regard, because yes, you're doing all those things, but let us now think about the young girl. How can we help a girl right now who is 16 in school, who is going to listen to this, or a parent to a young girl? What did Linda learn from growing up? What values were instilled in her? How did she manage to utilize the resources around her, the people around her, to build, to become this Linda that we are seeing right now, who can eloquently speak about purpose and identity?
That's a great question you just asked me.
Yes.
And it actually brings me back to purpose. I wasn't a privileged child. Yeah, I met my mentor, I think around second year of my campus. Yeah. And my circumstances growing up were the hardest. I will not discuss them.
Okay, no
My
problem.
mother does not stay here with me in Kampala. She's back at home. Yeah. And I was raised by a single mother who struggled to put us through school. Yeah. We are two girls and I am a last born. My sister was a little bit fair-ish because she found when my mom's pockets were still fresh, and then at the time, the time my things started to get serious, my mom, like when the financial situation is a little bit low. A person could be like, you're privileged, you know people. I knew no one.
Exactly. That's why I needed you to speak about this. Because
Yeah.
that gives me an understanding to know, oh, I can relate to her,
Yeah.
because my mom is also a single mom. So apart from, until now I thought, okay, this sounds like a girl who had both mom, dad, money, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for me, I was raised by a single mother. I was born and raised in Ibanda, the western part of Uganda, the Banyankode. I am a Nyankode by tribe. Yeah.
My husband is from Mnyakwe now.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Ibanda, and okay, just to let you guys know, really, I wasn't sure I was joining campus after my Form 6 vacation. Why? Circumstances were tough, and that time I thought about joining the police. I had actually joined because it was even it was the presidential election season. That was 2021. So my S6 vacation, I had imagined myself excelling highly because I had always been a brilliant child, but you never showed me showed me what's up. I didn't fail. I got 12 points, but I was never that kid that could get 12 points. My whole A level, that's the least I ever scored. Yeah. So my dreams had been shattered because I had envisioned excelling with my usual points because my
Yes.
teachers, my parents, everyone around me, they knew I was a 20 points material. What happened at UNEB, I honestly can't explain it. And
Pandemic. Let's blame it on the pandemic.
the pandemic came when I was actually in vacation that season. Yeah,
Okay.
I
I
was
was going to
already
say,
in
let's just give you a run out.
Yeah,
But
so
life
my
happens. Life
second book,
happens. Yeah.
my second book that I'm writing about, it's inspired by actually that same season, my X6 vacation, because it turned every other thing around. Because this is me envisioning getting my 20 points, getting into campus on government sponsorship, material of course, I had never seen myself not going to Makerere because I had mapped out my life in my head. And then things turned out the way they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And given that things had turned out like that, my mom was not doing okay at the time. I went back to my village, to Ibanda. And when I reached there, they announced countrywide for the children that were in S4 vacation, they could, apply and join this training so that we could come and, okay, we were LDs then. We were supposed to get out and assist the existing force in the presidential elections, the election season. And they told us that the contract was a 3-month contract, which was a paid contract. So I applied. I looked for all of those local chairman signatures, LC1, LC2, LC3 recommendations, applied. Luckily enough, got accepted. My name was shortlisted. So I went up to the district to see my name because the notice board currently, okay, then it was at the district. So you had to first go to the district.
Where is digitalization in Uganda? That
Yeah,
can be an email.
that was the season of COVID, actually the first phase of COVID.
Okay.
Then
okay.
I got into training. We camped, each district camped its candidates in their given space. So we went and camped at a certain secondary school for a period of 2 weeks, but those 2 weeks were heavy because this was us doing actual 9 months police training in 2 weeks. You get what I mean? So they call their graduation in police, they call it passing out. So police graduation is pass out event. So they passed us out. That doesn't even sound like English, but yeah.
I feel like you literally passed out.
Yeah, but that's how they call their graduation.
Yeah.
You pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were given uniforms. I was out here doing patrol in the nights in a police uniform and a baton.
Serious? Wow.
But they even gave us certificates. I think that's the best bit. And the plan was that after that contract, I was meant to, because after then they were receiving cadets, actual people that desire to really train for the 9 months and come out constables. So I had already made up my mind because that was the only way at that time. The good thing is that these guys didn't pay us every after a month. They kept our money and paid us at once. So for a month that was paid for, okay, each month we were getting paid 370,000. And for a period of 3 months, we were paid 1,120,000 Ugandan shillings, which is the money that I kept to start campus.
Wow.
Yeah, so I want to take this back to purpose. So I was able to join Victoria University because there is a certain member of our cell fellowship that I used to attend the same cell with, the same fellowship with, and they gave me a call in regards to joining campus. And I was like, I wasn't sure I was joining campus. Every other thing was not in my favor at the time. And he told me he could help me enroll with Victoria University. I used to hear about Victoria University. I didn't actually know what it was all about.
Makerere was the goal.
Yes, yeah. And now he tells me he could help me. All I needed to do was just send him my documents and he helps me out and helps me get in, which he did. And then he was a lecturer at the university. He was a lecturer of ICT. So he enrolled me when I was even in Ibanda until I was called and I was told that I actually got in. And I came back to Kampala to start school. And looking back now, I realized that that very season, my second book is about seasons of life. And it's heavily inspired by this specific season of my S6 vacation. I look back and I'm like, the very season that was meant, that I looked at as a destructive season, turned out to be a whole redirection. Certain things must happen to make way for other things to come in place. Yes. And I like to tell people that when I took the different road that I hadn't thought about, Most of my life has been able to unfold because of this other turn that life took me at. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm thinking if I had continued to join at Makerere, I hadn't thought beyond a scholarship. Who knows, I could probably be out there unemployed, not knowing what to do, stuff like that. Yeah. And it will bring me back to purpose. When you realize your purpose, that one thing God wrote on your name before the world ever started to define you. I like to tell people that the moment you discover your purpose, it doesn't matter how saturated the market out here might be. It does not matter if you have what it takes or if you don't. Every single thing, and when I speak this, I have lived it. Yeah?
Sure.
Every single thing will work out for you. I wrote this book, my manuscript was ready after my graduation. Yeah, I was writing the whole manuscript after I submitted my research for my undergraduate. And I had my manuscript ready after my graduation. I was 4 months in formal employment. I was young. I didn't have added advantages. I didn't know rich people. I didn't know who could help me with
Don't know
what.
Gamba no go.
Yes, I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
And when I had the money, I like to tell people that if I had found out every other thing I did find out before I wrote the manuscript, I was never going to write this manuscript. Why? Because initially I had told myself I wouldn't start to ask about publishing before I had anything in place, which is what kept me grounded to writing the manuscript, so that if I started to ask people about the whole thing, I would have a manuscript ready. So this was me with my manuscript, and I'm reaching out to publishing houses. If there is one thing that publishers are out here, okay, anyone that's a budding author, you're budding and you don't know, publishing is very costly. It's very expensive. It's very, very, very costly. But today, I think I know why it's costly. Because it's worth it. Very much worth it. And I visited publishing houses. They were telling me crazy amounts of money. And I remember asking some of them, I'm like, but do you guys actually know that I'm young? Because I was young. I hadn't made money. I didn't have a lot at my disposal. I only had my manuscript and me. Meanwhile, my mom has no clue I'm even looking at publishing. Yeah, because I can't even call her. Yes. Yeah, I told her when I published the book, and she was asking me how I did it, but I can't explain to her lots of things because she won't get them. But what matters is that there is a book written by my
book. Tell your friends, that's it.
Yeah. And
yeah. So did you finally get a publishing company, or did you self-publish the book?
I eventually did. I got a because I didn't want to self-publish. You see, even in my poverty, I was proud.
Yeah, self-published.
I was proud because I realized self-publishing in Uganda here, self-publishing is not really it. When a firm publishes you, there is a certain credibility and there is a certain reach that you, at a personal level, at your individual level, you can't reach at. Yeah. So I eventually got a publishing house, and it was after I talked to one of the staff at Victoria University, and they told me they were publishing, and they told me they were busy, they couldn't publish me, but they can recommend me someone that they trust is good. And this person gave me packages. One was for 5 million, the other was for 10 million. To me, 1 million was a whole big amount, 1 million alone. And these were the people that were telling me 5 million, 3 million, 10 million. I'm like, God, hey, where am I going to get this money? And I was so worried. I gave the lady, she's called Thrive Publications. She's on Instagram as Prostina Suga, but also Thrive Publication Holdings. They are the people that published my book. I told her I was young, and she assured me that she would help me. She would try, and she helps me in every way. But helping you does not include that they will chop the money. Yes. Helping you is giving you moral support.
Yeah,
and trying to tell you that this is worth it, and they try to make you realize the bigger picture. And I came and discussed this with my immediate supervisor. I was like, I want to publish, but they're giving me crazy quotations and I'm really afraid. I feel like I want to keep this. And she told me that you can never really be ready for anything. You can never feel financially stable for anything. You just have to start things anyway. And she's like, I'm going to give you 500,000 Ugandan shillings. Start right there. And now I couldn't be like, I won't start, because this person giving me their money means I'm accountable to them.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. True.
Now I start with 500 Ugandan shillings, 500,000 Ugandan shillings. I'm like, okay, where is the rest of the money going to come from? But as purpose can have it, and I'll repeat, where there is purpose, you will not see things working out immediately, but things actually working out while you're not seeing. I got so many people that injected their money in this project. I was like, you're a young girl, you're writing, you're publishing. And it also made me realize, where there is value, money flows. If there is any amount,
Say that again. Please say that again.
where there is value,
Yes.
money will always flow in the direction where there is value. And then if there is any amount of money that I put onto this book project, it was as little as 300,000, if not less, from my own pocket.
True.
Out of all of those millions, provision happened. I got people gave me their money, and they gave it to me happily.
Yes, yes, yes.
Happily. And I was
believe in
able
you,
to publish. Yeah, I published this book, and I stayed with a balance of 1,500,000 Ugandan shillings. Yeah. And then we are done publishing. I'm thinking about the launch. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, every other person is excited you've published a book and all of these things. And here you are asking yourself, God, show me the next step. Okay, we have published. What do I do next? Because you don't know what to do. You're overwhelmed. You're on your own. You are one. I was supposed to launch this book on the 20th of September. I had reached to my mentor and asked them to be my chief guest of honor. Reason being, they had mentored me for a long time. They had mentored me in the sense of helping me shift my perspective, talking to me about some wise things that before I make some decisions, I think again. Yeah. So I was like, I feel like you're so fitting to be my chief guest of honor because you've seen me through this journey. You've seen me transition. And he agreed to it. He agreed to it, but he kept quiet. On a normal, he will advise me on what to do. So he first kept quiet. And now one of these days, I had finished work. I was still at office because I've been an evening student. So I was in class, but also trying to write letters to send to my panelists who would come and panel my event, my book launch. I'm planning a book launch, Resti. I have 1.5, which is not adequate to organize a launch event where you will invite people and they have to eat. And you won't just invite them.
A little small fish and bread.
Yes. And you will not just invite them and then have them sit in a plain place. If you want your book launch to look nice, you need some little decoration.
Yes.
And I was here worried because I couldn't see where the money was going to come from to host a whole launch, a whole book launch of 100 people. So this gentleman comes and finds me in my office and he asks me, Linda, why are you working late? And I'm like, I'm crafting letters to my panelists. And remember, I had reached out to request that he becomes the guest of honor in my event. So he tells me, Linda, I've been thinking about a whole different idea. I just think, come to my office, let's talk. I have an idea, I'll propose it to you. I will not force you. I'll just tell you something you need to go and think about. He's like, from when you told me about your launch, I've been thinking, why don't we launch your book on graduation day this year? Meanwhile, this is last year. So when he said that, I wasn't seeing how it was making sense because a graduation event, a book launch, it's not coming together. Okay, I had thought about it in my own narrow mind.
You
I'm
didn't think
like,
about the
it's
big picture.
and I'm like, it's not adding up. Parents will come with their children to just watch them graduate. So in the moment, Resty, even if it were you and you're just struck with the line of let's do this on grad day, make it make sense. But then I had also known the one thing about my mentor. My mentor is the kind of person who, when he's saying something, you trust that he has thought about it. He's
Really
saying the
thoroughly.
end goal.
Yeah.
He sees, he has known, he has speculated, he knows.
Yeah.
So it's only wise enough to say yes.
Yes.
Just that in the instant, I had not seen it like that. He told me, sleep on it. Take as much time as you want. When you're ready, come and tell me. So I asked my supervisor, I'm like, my supervisor had been in the place longer than me. So I'm like, a doctor suggested this. And I just feel like, okay, students will just come to graduate and they go home. I don't see how we can launch the book. And she told me, Linda, have you responded to this person yet? I'm like, no. Go back and give him a response right away. I was not convinced. I went to another workmate who was my former boss in another department. So I asked him, I'm like, what do you think? He told me the exact same thing this one had told me. Now, these ones happen to know him better than I do. And then, like, go back to this man, tell him you're in. You're all in. And I did just that.
100%. Yeah.
And I did just that. So it went from worrying about over 4 millions I needed to probably put this event together to only being able to show up with my speech. All I needed was to show up with my speech. Now, I had not pictured where the graduation will have so many attendees, students and their two parents, each one of them. I had not seen the part where they were inviting industry and academic leaders from both within and outside the country. I had not looked at our graduation event being, it was live streaming on national broadcast platforms.
Wow.
I had not envisioned having the owner, the chairman, board of directors, the owner of the university, and his wife and his son-in-law in the place. I had not envisioned any of that. Me, I was just focusing on the fact that it was not making sense. But like I would like to affirm to the women that will listen into this podcast, yeah?
Yes.
You don't see how things are working out. He's God, you guys. He is God.
He has really
He's
put
working
everything
out
together.
things
Yeah.
for you in your human mind. You will not get it.
Yes.
And I've been able to sell so many books because people are buying it simply because it was launched by the king of Usopp.
Their credibility. Yes.
Yeah, most people are buying the book because they saw it on TV. I had not envisioned any of this.
Wow.
And it turned out that I had the most beautiful book launch.
Wow.
The most beautiful book launch. Actually, my mentor told me, Linda, you've had a moment that people don't always have.
Even people who have the money don't have that.
They don't always have. I
Yes.
launched my book before over 5,000 people. Like, look at it very closely. You see what Purpose will do? From being able to publish this book when I was just young, no money, nothing, no connections, to launching it in the most honorable way that will always be on Google documented. Yeah?
I would like to speak
About it
into
like
that.
that.
I would like to speak into that to really highlight that, because this does not only have to speak about book launching. I would like whoever is listening to this to understand that what Linda is communicating is that business that you have, that little idea that you have, you just have to start the process. God will take care of the rest of the things. And while you were speaking, I was thinking so much about She Center. I always share this, and I would like, since it's every time I host a guest, I have a new audience of people who I'm going to make this clear to. Like when you were sharing, I was seeing myself in your story, and many people can reach out and say, oh my God, this and this and this. I'm like, guys, I just started the process. That's it. I started the process. I did not know anything about, I still clearly don't know anything about business. I do not know anything about so many things. And yet, when people look at the platform, they can think, oh, this girl had everything.
You know
no,
a
no,
lot.
no, no, no. I literally started this podcast. I remember I was listening to someone like, people just reach out to your family members. So I sent out this message. I wrote a very good script. I sent it to across different people, friends, former classmates, said, guys, I'm going to start this podcast. It's going to empower women, but I need to buy microphones. I need to buy all these things. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from. Can you please contribute? Because this is the vision. I want to empower women in East Africa. Some people didn't read my messages. Some of them did not even read or respond or to acknowledge they did. But the few who did, their contribution got me a microphone. Now, you might be here listening saying, hey, this girl has a Shure microphone. I got contributions from people. I got 2 microphones. I pay for this software, which we use to pay. People just always have a way. I just be there thinking, because I have the plan. And somehow, someone will just send you a message and say, here you go. I've been thinking about the work that you're doing. I'm seeing you on social media. There you go. I'm giving you some money to do this. And these are people, if I hadn't started, they would have no frame of reference to say, here is the thing. So you have a business. You're not posting anything about it. You're not talking about it. You're not making noise about that thing that you want to start. And yet you want someone to invest money in you.
How will they know? Will they
What am I investing money into exactly? You and your speech? No. Words don't change anything. So people need to understand. While you were talking, I remembered I attend Elevation Church online, and Pastor Stephen Fartik was talking about the Israelites as they were crossing the Jordan. I think it's the perfect example of what you have been describing. So he goes ahead to show us. I'd never seen it in that way. So God tells Joshua, I need you guys tomorrow. You're going to cross tell everyone to get ready. You're going to cross the Jordan. They're like, okay, we're going to cross the Jordan. How? Okay, we don't even remember. They're all young. They don't remember how they crossed the Red Sea, because these are all young people. But they have had stories of the Red Sea. So they're just imagining probably Joshua is going to lift up his hand and they cross the Jordan. No, Joshua is like, no, I need the Israelites to carry the Ark of the Covenant and start walking into the water. Huh? Even Moses didn't tell people to start walking. He first separated the sea. But the writer of the book takes us behind the scenes to show us what God was doing. God was upstream. He went and separated the water, and the moment the the Levites put the first foot that stepped into the Jordan, the water the other side separated. So while you're out here doing your work, God is doing all these things behind. But that is the relationship between these two things is your commitment to the purpose and the process is what's going to activate what God is doing. Because God is out there waiting, saying, money is here. While they're organizing the graduation, you probably were not even part. Sometimes you're even part of the people organizing, and you're not even thinking of, oh, this could actually be a good place to do this. Let me ask. You didn't think of so many things, but this organization went on. You're part of it. You're working. You're not thinking this could be the opportunity, and it could have even been, oh, I came to my professor and I asked, can you please, come and do this, and you have this expectation. Oh, I was thinking he could at least, offer some advice or even a contribution. At least contribute something. Why are you just quiet? You don't know that this person, God already prepared him. Because I love the fact that you took us back to your life. I didn't want people to just think you're the author, you know about purpose. I love the fact that you took us back for people to know you're a young girl, even someone is somewhere out there. You did all this work, which I know speaks into your purpose. All the work that you were doing, learning about police, I know if anything has to do with discipline, it is police and the army. So I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
Right there.
Yes.
You know, the first thing they tell you in the force, when you enter the force, they'll tell you this: the force has the highest discipline. The other side, everything is yes, sir. There is no such thing as no. So the force has the highest discipline.
That right there is one of the most important things about life. Discipline. Discipline with yourself, discipline with higher authority, discipline with the stewarding over what God has given you. And that's one thing that I realized. I was listening to a podcast by this guy called Craig Rochelle. He has a leadership podcast. He's a pastor. And he talks about how he had a guest on, and she runs this big organization where they market jets, like private jets. Like they sell private jets for a living. Wow. And she said for her, when she's looking for people, number one, were you playing sports professionally in high school and at the college? I said, what do those things have to do? And then she goes on to explain that a person who has professionally done something has the discipline. That means you have teamwork. That means, because she doesn't have to teach you these things. She knows by the time you came out of college as a professional in basketball or whatever it is, you had a team you were working with, you had to obey your leaders, you have to have all those things. She said when someone says they do the rest of the things, you don't need to know how to sell. She needs your discipline, she needs your commitment, and she needs to know that even through the pain, you didn't quit, you continued doing that. And I think I also respect people, especially the army and police in Uganda. That is some level of discipline. That is some level of discipline.
So right. Just that a person on the outside who has no clue what happens, they judge them. They judge them for acting the way they do.
Someone standing in the
they
sun.
Are on command.
Someone in the sun saying, stop, move. You can forward them all you want. But that takes discipline. For someone to sit and do something like that, it's like, why don't I just quit and become an influencer or do something else? But they did it. So I love that you shared that, because what I see is your story is like little bits of life that make up who you are. And the fact that some people think they can just go to their professor and just say yes, this, and then no, that person has seen by the time they are mentoring you, by the time they offered you that audience, they knew who you are. You had proven to them, I am worth the investment. And this opportunity doesn't just come to anybody. You always have to do the work. And that's the one thing that I want to ask you. What work have you done on yourself? Because there are so many women out there who have they have the anointing, I would say. You know, someone has the anointing to preach, but they don't have the discipline to live the life of preaching. They are still living stray and doing all these things, even if the anointing on them. Let's think about Saul in the Bible. He had the anointing, he just did not, he didn't do it, and God took it away from him. David, we see him doing all these things, and God says, this is the man, this is the one. Despite his weaknesses, he's the one. So what are those things that you have done to keep yourself in check? Please take us on that journey.
What have I done? I love the kind of questions you're asking me, because for some reason I relate to them and I have what to say. What did I do? When I got into Victoria University as a student, the first thing I did was explore their social media platforms. And the very first one that I did check a lot was their Instagram page. And what did I find? I found lots of flyers, flyers that talk about March intake, Simanya November intake, July intake, all of those. And the first thing that struck my mind was I could do something that I'm doing an MBA in marketing, so I'm a marketer naturally. So I thought about the fact that I could put together a commercial I could do an advert. I could write a manuscript and do an advert. So the first thing that I did, for us, we are lucky enough at Victoria University that our Vice Chancellor, you can reach him. Any student can reach the Vice Chancellor if they need him. That's the kind of leverage he has given us. So at the time, I got his number because they had read us his number during orientation when we were still being oriented as new students. I got his number.
I don't remember anything about our orientation in Makere. I don't even think I went for orientation. That really speaks to taking life seriously. Like some of us, I would say my 20s, I just existed through them. I didn't know myself. I didn't know purpose. I just sometimes wish I could go back, but it was supposed to be like that. That's why I'm here. But I like the fact that you're mentioning that, because someone is going through orientation right now and they just keep that like, oh wait, this is a number that anyone would die to have.
Yeah. So I remember I had, you know how people come and orient you and talk to you and then they read you contacts? So I had his number. So when I examined the platform and I realized there were so many flyers, and I thought to myself I could do an advert. I called him, and he didn't know me. He didn't know me at all. Me, I knew him because I ought to know him. He's a leader of an institution.
Yes.
So I reached out to him, and I was inquiring if students were allowed to voluntarily contribute to their school's visibility. And I was like, I could write a manuscript, I could do an advert, I could do a commercial. And he believes in people. He likes to believe in everyone. One feature about him, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter. He just believes in everyone's effort. Because the time I was in campus, I was studying with celebrity kids. I was studying with lots of people that were working with NBS, that were working with NTV. But then they're already in the field. At that time, I'm from Eva, and I'm thinking these are dope people.
Like, wow.
And I was studying with Baby Gloria. Luckily enough, she's now my friend.
You see, that is networking.
So I'm trying to show you the picture of, if there was anyone that could do the advert, it was never me. I was not in the capacity to do that, because there were people that had the visibility already that were fit for that. But I reached out, and given that he believes in people, in students' talents, he just told me, can you write a manuscript? I said, yes, I can. He told me, go and write it. And when you're given an opportunity, I like to tell people that when you're given an opportunity, give it your 100 plus 1%.
Because that's your one chance. That's your one chance.
Yes, because these things don't always come. So when he told me, go and write your manuscript, I went back home. You guys, I did the most with the manuscript. I watched adverts of Harvard on YouTube. I watched adverts of
right there. I need people. I was saying this on the Ugandan Boy podcast. If you have a phone and you have internet, no more excuses, because everything we need in this life exists on our phones.
Absolutely. So I went on YouTube because I wanted to see how these people do their commercials. What's the most special thing they do? I searched out the universities in the US, in Canada. I just kept on seeing at their art of marketing, and I was like, I have to make this manuscript super. And I put in a lot of thinking, a lot of researching, and I put together my manuscript. Actually, that video used to be pinned on my Instagram, but now things keep evolving. I keep getting better and better.
You have better stuff now to put up there.
To pin. But it's still there in my Instagram, just that, I pin it again. That was my first marketing experiment that I did. And in my head, I hadn't thought about the fact that where the advert was going to run, they required money to run it for a given premium. I hadn't thought about the fact that they would incur expenses. I just thought I could voluntarily do this. So the next day, because he had told me, when you're done with your manuscript, come back here. So I came, saw his EA and his executive assistant. So his executive assistant said, okay, I'll let him know. So I get to speak with him, and I showed him my manuscript. Mind you, he had no clue who I was. Yeah. So if you don't speak up, they will not know you.
You belong in every room that you go into. You just have to make yourself be seen.
Yeah, be seen.
Yeah.
So I show him the manuscript, and he read through and he told me, this is good. And he told me, how do you want your advert to be? I started to lay out for him what I had in my head. I'm like, if I could bring my 2 other friends on board, because I feel like if I bring them in, it will be this and this. I'm like, I've made 3 stanzas. So actually there were 4 stanzas. I'm like, I could do the first and the last, and then these 2 girls, each one of them could do one, and it would be a very nice advert. And I started to tell him, so in this compartment they control like the library, in this space they could, I just put down my idea as they are very busy, and I was just in my year 1. I hadn't like gone a long way. I was just in my year 1, and just like that he told me, go get your girls. I got the girls. They were my classmates, and he told me, when you're ready, let me know. I did, and the next thing I didn't even know the marketing team. I was new to the university because I was then supposed to approach the marketing team. You get? So before we know it, he called the assistant head of marketing and told them, you know what? Call people of NBS, let them shoot this advert. It's going on NBS. It was running for a premium of 3 months.
Wow.
3 months.
Girl. That right there is grabbing the opportunity.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just like that, I did my very first advert, and that's when I knew I could do marketing. And with my public speaking skills and now writing, no better way to execute marketing than to speak to people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
People
so-
think they can market in newspapers. No, these days, my dear, we need your face. We need you to tell us what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was able to pull off my very first commercial when I was in my year 1, and there a connection was established, because it was then that now I got to seek out this gentleman's mentorship. First we finished to shoot this advert, it's gone, yeah, but then there is more to life, because you're not just going to hold on to the advert and
Wait,
hold
is
on.
this the mentor, the one who ended up getting you to?
Yes, that's the same mentor.
What?
Yeah, so that's the same
So
mentor
that's
who-
how you guys met. Amazing. I love that.
Yeah, and this
Wow,
was you
that's great.
asking me, what did you do for a person to think you could deserve
Yes,
this?
exactly. Yeah, and I could not even put the dots together. I just thought it's probably part of like the university. I didn't see that coming. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
plot twist right there.
So when they tell you be proactive, be very proactive. Make sure you're seen in the room. And for you to be seen in the room, it's only when you are contributing some valuable skill or you're being valuable. Even networks work better when you have something you're offering. So that you just don't know Resty, but you know Resty because you've worked with Resty. Because if you don't have any value offering to Resty, Resty will keep seeing you as someone she has seen.
Yes, you're just my birthday, like my TikTok friend.
Yeah, so networks also work better when there is value. You don't want to end up being one of, I was talking to my supervisor about someone I know. They have pictures with all the big people. Okay, most of the big people that I know. And when you see the pictures that they take with these big people, and you see where they are at in life, you don't expect it to be like that. Because for that great network, you should be somewhere. Yeah? So I was telling her, why is it so? And she's the one who told me, you see, it just, sometimes it takes a conversation with a person to realize something. And you know, she told me, Linda, networks don't work by taking pictures with a minister. You will take a picture with this minister and they'll forget you the next minute. So she told me, you can't just operate on taking pictures with the ministers, the celebrities, when you don't have value you're offering, those networks will not help you because they don't know where to start helping you. You don't have a product that they can buy from you. You don't have a service that you can offer them. They don't know where to lift you from and move you forward.
You take a picture and post on Instagram so people can like it and then they forget about it.
Yeah, and this is how you will get a problem.
Oh my God, that's so good. I was speaking to I watched someone with this guy. What's his name? Is it Koinoino or Koinoino? Whatever. I've forgotten his name. He's a Nigerian pastor, and he was talking about how there's this guy who, like, there was an event and there's this young man who wanted to promote his business, blah blah blah. Like, he just wanted to promote his business, and he was just like everyone. And he was like the least because he was just coming up. He was a startup, so he was badly wanting to get connected to the host of the event or the guest speaker, and the guest speaker is unreachable because you are nobody.
Yeah.
So this guy somehow just happens to be in the right place at the right time, and this guy, the speaker, is done speaking and he's walking out. While everyone, like people who are important, are coming out trying to how do they call it? Trying to talk to this guy. He just happens to be in the right place, and this guy meets him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Mr. I have this." The guy just said, "Walk with me," and he kept talking and talking. That speaker just said, "Walk with me." That's it. As he's walking out, he gets into his car, and then he looks at him and says, "I hope you know what I've just done for you," and he goes away. This guy was so mad. He was like, "This guy is such a snob. Who does he think he is?"
Yeah.
After that, every person started reaching out to him. Yo, we just saw you with the speaker.
Yeah.
How can we collaborate with you? What are you doing? Like, he got so much out of just that moment that eventually, with time, he went back to that guy's office and asked to meet him. And this time he was a big guy, like he had made it. And the guy gave him an opportunity, and he said, "Now I know what you meant." So I hope from this book can understand that you could have just easily done that ad and stopped there, but you solved the relationship, because the culture we're living in is credibility. Yeah, credibility. Like, people trust you because they have seen you with someone who they trust.
Yeah. And now
So
let me
that
first cut you short a little bit.
Yeah.
You see, just that you said. Now, if you're someone and you have nothing going on with you, you don't know what to do with that fame that just happened to you in that very minute. So you see why value is very important, because if you don't have anything that's going on with you, it will just remain with some other video that you took with a known person.
Yes. No business cards, no business, no, like Musiime meets you and then you're like,
"Can I have a picture?" And it's
exactly
there.
People are like, "Yo, we saw you with Musiime." Yeah.
What
I
do you
actually
do?
was talking to him about this. I do this, and then you have businesses. But some people, we know them as Museveni's. Like, they took a picture, but they don't. Oh, Linda, this is so good. I like how you've talked about all this, and I like the fact that it has nothing to talk about privilege. It has nothing to talk about born with a silver spoon. Thinking about, like, I gave you this, I have offered you this. Like, you grabbed everything that you wanted. Like, you went after it. Sarah Jakes Roberts is like, my God, I love listening to her. She always says, you belong into every room you go into.
Yeah.
You came from Uganda and joined Victoria University. Your class is full of Baby Gloria and the likes, and you could have easily been intimidated and either sought popularity to be their friend just for the sake of being their friend, or you could have said, "Oh, I'm too small here. Let me just study and keep it on the low and just be feeling as small as I am." But no, you chose to look for an opportunity. And in that opportunity, it opened doors to your book that is being that was launched last year. Because if that professor didn't know that you were that aggressive towards life, there's no way he was going to give you the to even invest in you, to say, "I'm going to be your mentor, I'm going to pour into you." I think so many young people are seated. Banang, let us stop blaming the government for everything. Because something, even if the government came and gave you money, you would. How many celebrities have we seen that the government has given money and every year they are coming back for more money? What have they done with their lives? What have they done with their lives? What, like Museveni comes and gives you 10 million, you go and splash it. And then what do you have? You have not used that opportunity of knowing Museveni personally. You've not used the opportunity of doing so many things. And yet, when we see people making it, people becoming a certain, getting to a certain level, we are envying them. We are like, oh my God, how did she do it? And you just want to copy and paste everything that she did. No, please don't go to Victoria University and say, I want to make an ad for you right now, because they don't need you anymore. Your opportunity always comes from who God created you to be. Like, it could be that you can cook really good food. And that could be the thing where you say, the food we have in the cafeteria, it's not that nice. I have this recipe. Can I do this? Can we add this? That could be an opportunity for you. It could be an opportunity where someone like Linda is, and you're like, oh, Linda, let me help you. Because people like to look down on each other and say, oh, we are the same age. These days I've learned, no matter how young that person is, if they have an anointing on them, you better tap into it. You could just come and say, "Hi, I want to." Like, there are so many people, like, where people these days, like online podcasts. I literally just write a message to people and say, "Hey, can you be on the podcast? Big or small, I don't care. It's up to you. Read the message or don't." And so many people agree. And it took me just writing. Like, what was I going to lose? What was I losing? I sent a message to Pumla. She said, "Definitely." And then everyone is like, "Oh my God, how did you get Pumla?" Because I gave her a message and she said yes. So many others said no. Exactly. So many others said no, but eventually through time they will say yes, because then they will be like, and then other people are saying yes because I had Pumla onto the podcast, or because I had another person who they see as a big person. So I think in many cases we just need to use what we have in our hands. That's our phone, and use the network around us, and use the resources that God has given us, like the skills, the skill set, the knowledge that we have. I know we can go on and on because this is a very interesting topic, but I want you to speak to, first and foremost, I would like to talk about your faith. Like, how has your faith played a role in this? And then lastly, you're going to answer the question, or rather you're going to speak to a young woman who is listening right now, and she's genuinely trying, like she is feeling like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. What's the very first thing that you would tell them to do, or how would you advise that kind of person? But first, I would like you to tell us, what role has your faith played in this whole thing?
Okay, my faith has played the biggest role in my life. Why? Because it's faith that we do the things that we do without seeing the outcome, without seeing what's going to happen after we've taken a step, after we've taken a leap of faith. So my faith has played an extremely big role because it has taken me to understand my identity in Christ. And it's the whole reason I'm all about this whole purpose thing, because when you get to know that you're here for a reason, and you get to understand that the whole sole reason is just so you make known the name of the Lord, and you have to do everything in your power to make sure you're elevating yourself, you're impacting those around you, but also glorifying the name of the Lord. So when you understand your faith, you realize that most of the things don't happen in our lives because we have worked hard for them. You realize that things happen in our lives because God allows them. Because I like telling my friends that there are people that work harder than we do, very hard. They do lots of sacrifices. Some of them don't sleep, but their lives are not shifting. They are still in the same place. You're not even doing a lot. You're just snapping your finger sometimes, and you're seeing things unfolding in your favor. So when you understand that every other thing that you want and every other thing that you continue to do, you're doing and you're becoming because God is letting it, then you will calm down. You will not let fame make you something else. You will not glorify in your achievements. You will actually remember to go back to the feet of Christ, because that's the lowest you can be. Yeah, you will know that popularity shouldn't change you. Rather, you should use it for the goodness of the Lord, because that's going to keep you grounded. Whenever you feel like you're raising your wings, you will remember your Creator, and it will bring you back to His feet. That's the only thing that can get you grounded, because fame has a way of changing people. You can't even say you have control over it. You don't know that. Fame, achievements, money, those things know how to change a person. So when you get back to your faith and get back to your identity in Christ, you will keep humble enough and remember that you are at His feet. And then what was the other question?
If a young woman is listening right now and she genuinely doesn't know who she is, where she's going, what's the very first thing that you tell her? So we could think about, I know many times it's usually, that age when you're a teenager, when now you've become like 16, you're getting into adulthood. That's the time. I have one of the girls on my internship. Oh my God, she's 19, and this girl just blows my mind. She's such a go-getter. You tell her to do something, she's asking for feedback. I'm like, what was I doing at your age? I don't even think I was asking for feedback. Like, I thought I knew what I was doing, and I would, like, she asked for feedback, she asked questions, she's very, like, articulate. And sometimes I'm like, I wish everybody could be like this. She went to a really good school that really taught her well and how to do this. And she shares how this was also a journey for her, like to get that confidence. But I know that there are so many young girls. 16 is a really good age, You've gotten over that. Puberty is still hitting, but now you're moving into adulthood. And you're really trying, especially now, 16-year-olds, they have phones. Your parent has trusted you with your phone. What are you doing on the phone? Because we see girls at that time creating opportunities already, like what you're posting out there. You're looking out to companies and saying, I want to work for you, I want to do, because these kids are really good at marketing. Like, for them it comes naturally since they were born with phones in their hands. So they know what to do. My daughter right now can go on Snapchat and post stuff, and she's just 2 years old. She knows how to do YouTube and everything. So I can only imagine the world we are living in right now, how easy it is to get lost thinking that identity is all about being seen. But being seen how? What are you putting out there? Like, what value are you adding to this world? So I would like you to speak to that young girl.
Okay. You're a young girl, you're out there, you don't know what to do, don't know where to start, and all of those sorts of things. The word that I have for you today is that look around you. Who you are and who you are meant to be is not far from you. When I tell people self-discovery and purpose, and they ask me, how do I find my purpose? How do I discover my talents? I like to tell them that look at those things from your childhood, from your entire growth, yeah? Look at those things that you do, like they come like second nature while every other person is struggling at them. And like, it's never too far. Nature is always communicating. The environment is always pointing it to your face that this is you, this is who you're meant to be. Because there are things you're so great at that other people, it's hard for them. Yeah? So I'm saying, start with who you are meant to be. And who you are meant to be is close to you. That person is not far from you. If you look closely, you will know who you are meant to be. You will find the things that you do so easily. And then when you've discovered those, because it starts with self-discovery, to be able to align. Because when you discover where you fall, you start to align yourself with the right people, the right environments that you should be a part of, the right talks you should have with certain people, and which people inspire you, because even inspiration has to change when you discover yourself. That the that inspires you, they are doing things that you're interested in. And the mentors you're going to be looking out for are going to be the people that are doing the things better that you think you are interested in. So the person that you want to, the person you're meant to be, is not far away from you. Pay attention. they are not far from you. Yeah. So
That's
there is
true.
always a start point, and a start point is identity. It is purpose,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. Oh, Linda, this was such an insightful conversation. I'm so happy that we got to have it. Thank you so much for being so open and showing us what it looks like to live with intention. Your book clearly is a reminder that the frame matters, and so
Yeah.
does the woman inside that frame. Like it's not just about the frame, but the woman inside of it. So that's exactly why She Center exists, guys, because purpose isn't a privilege, it's a right. And every woman, whether she's in Kampala, Uganda, Nairobi, London, America, because She Center is here for East African women, whether they're living in Uganda or living in the diaspora. We want to help all of you to walk in purpose through stories, through community, and as women, we deserve community, we deserve resources. That's what She Center is here for. In this world that we are living in right now, people are lost. We are lost because so much is happening. It's hard to tell the right from the wrong. It's hard to tell what's true because AI is making up all these things. So we
We
want
can
to
sieve out the best. We can sieve out the
exactly. So we
best.
want to sieve you out when you're walking, when you're on TikTok or Instagram. Make sure that you grab this and just don't pass through it because we are not celebrities, me and Linda and I. Just
Yeah.
know that there is value in everything that you there's no everything doesn't have value. Some of the things are there to entertain you, but others are there to add on to you. And at She Center, we see you and we're here to support you. So I'm sure today's conversation has stirred something in you. So don't let it sit. I need you to go visit She Center. I need to tell you guys at the end, She Center has 4 main objectives. We offer services, and that is coming soon because it takes some time to be able to make such collaborations. But right now, you can find NGOs, organizations that are doing the work in your community. We are offering free, guys, free. The word is free in caps lock. Free resources. We have blog posts. Linda wrote one of a blog posts. We have downloadable tools, either through Faith or your mom who is journaling, like whatever journey you're on. We have a lot of resources that can help you. And we also have community. On She Center, you can join. So far, we have, I think, 2 communities because we just launched 2 weeks ago. We have communities. You can either join a community, we call them tribes, or you can create your own tribe because, trust me, you need people in your corner who know what they're doing or people who are going through exactly what you're going through. So I'm hoping that you can go right now on, I think it's better if I say it, it won't matter. You can just look wherever you're watching this, just look for the website or just type She Center platform and you'll be able to find our website and find everything that you need. Please get Linda's book. I cannot wait to grab it. I'm glad that it's on Amazon. I think I'll probably get myself a copy on Amazon. Please get Linda's book. Please be able to wait for her new book and check her out on social media because Linda is doing a lot of things. If you're looking for where to start, Linda might be the right one. Maybe you need to reach out to Linda and be, can I market your book? Come with a whole plan of how to market Linda's book. You might get yourself a job. So thank you so much, Linda, once again. Is there anything you feel like we should have talked about that we haven't talked about in the episode?
We actually just brushed a little bit about it, but I just want to emphasize it. You remember when you spoke about the internet having lots of things and all of this information is in our faces? It's the same way opportunities are in our faces online. Yeah. And we were on a certain Twitter space discussion with a friend of mine, and we were hosting someone who told us about, I'll just mention an example of the many opportunities that are there. There are opportunities online everywhere, and they don't require you to have experience. Sometimes it's just one positive planet idea that you need. And this friend of ours told us about Be Visionaries Fellowship. You've heard about that?
No, I haven't.
It's sponsored by
in Uganda?
Mercedes-Benz. No. It's sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. So what you need is
I
just
think I have
apply.
actually. I think I have heard about it. Yes, I have.
Yeah. Yeah. And
One
all
of the
you
interns who is working with She Center was part of that scholarship. She was working with them.
Yeah, so it's this is just one of the many opportunities that are online. There are so many things going on in online, and I think the one habit Ugandans have, because I feel like what the white people have on us, it's the willingness, the desire to do and to try. And I feel like most Ugandans, when they get into applying and they realize it requires you to record 1 minute video, they are out. Yeah, when they
Linda,
find where you have to fill in a
Linda,
form, they are out.
please let me first complain. I put out an ad for people to join the She Center internship program.
Yeah.
I got 2 Ugandans. The application was send us a 2 minute video telling us about yourself.
Yeah.
I got 2 Ugandans, only 2, actually 3 Ugandans who did this. The others were writing applications in email. Who does that? Hello,
Exactly.
dear She Center team. I'm applying for the job of data analyst. I did not say anything about the job of data analyst. I said the internship. I'm telling you, I got a lot of applications which were rejected because people
Didn't follow
not only
instructions.
random people, my family members who are always calling me, telling me, "Oh, I need a job, please help my daughter." I sent them this. And one of the girls from Uganda, when I talked to her, she said, "Yeah, we have that problem." I got over 15 applications. I got 32 applications. Majority of them are from Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. Uganda, I tell you, 3 people sent videos. 3.
The only bold ones.
Others sent CV. Others wrote in that. You know how we write an email and you put your application, not even a CV, they sent that. That is what they sent for their application. Makes you
Yeah.
stand out.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
thank
what
you
I'm
for
trying to
speaking
tell
about that.
people, yeah, so what I'm trying to tell people is that opportunities are there,
They
and
are.
a 2 minute video is the list of the things they require from you. Yeah, so I realize that most people leave out opportunities because it's asking them to do a 1 minute video, and like, you know what, I'm not doing this. They find when it requires you to just fill in a certain form, it won't take a lot of time, and they feel like, no, it's where I draw the line. But opportunities are there. People are seeking to do things at a global level. You can. For me, also, I
Yes.
didn't know until I actually heard from someone. Yeah, and they told me you will not get this opportunity. Sometimes it's not that if you record this video they will just reject you. Sometimes they are just trying to see if you're courageous enough. Yeah, and that's how you lose out, thinking they will phase you out because you feel like your video is not good enough, when they only wanted you to just do for formality. So
Exactly.
opportunities are there. There are so many. They are everywhere, on the browsers, on the websites, on Twitter, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, use your
So
phone right. Use your phone.
yeah,
Make
use
use of
your
your
phone
phone. Yeah,
right. So
people just
while
are on TikTok.
I,
People are
yeah,
just
so
on
while
TikTok.
yeah, while AI is here and it's there to entertain us, you need to remember that we don't have time. Time rushes very fast,
Yes,
and you don't
yes.
want to be 40 and you're like, I could have used my 20s. Use them now. That's just
Even
what.
AI
Yeah.
can get you opportunities if you prompted it to look for application opportunities for young adults or for doing different things. We just
Yeah.
have to know how to use it right. Linda, thank you so much. I'm very glad that you managed to speak about that because we really did like just brush over it. Thank you once again, and I know that, oh my God, I know you, a lot. The future ahead of you is big and bright, and I have no doubt that you're going to grab it, because I think what God needs are people who are willing. Like, you just have to have a willing heart, and that's all that matters. You know, like Caleb was like, I can go and get that land, and the Israelites were like, those guys are big. We can't. And guess what? Caleb made it to the promised land, while the rest of the people
See?
died when they were still in the desert. So I think God just needs willing hearts. God is looking for people who are willing to make a change. And I think that change should not be selfish. I shared something last week on my social media. If whatever you're doing is for yourself, even as the viewers, we shall consume your content, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it will
it.
just stay
Whatever
there.
you're putting out there, it has to be helping somebody. Don't show us your life, how your house is beautiful. You're going to get thousands of
Dubai.
followers, and
Trips in Dubai.
after you've lost all those opportunities to go to Dubai, we shall be done. Like, that's it. We follow someone else who has a better life.
Maybe people need to understand that, okay, traveling is a way of having fun, but it's not bringing into your pocket, it's taking out of your pocket. Maybe people have the wrong idea that traveling is an achievement. As you grow older, you'll just realize your bubble is being
Yeah,
burst.
it's open your mind. It's open your
Yeah.
mind. What have you learned there? What are you doing with your life? I really want people to know that impact matters. Like, is your content to encourage somebody? If you're making content, you talked about people not able to record themselves for a 2-minute video for an application, but they own a TikTok account where they are dancing and
Right?
and abusing people, and they have the time to comment and spend a whole day on TikTok, but they can't do something as simple as record it 100 times and get the best, edit it and put clips together and do it, or ask a friend to help you to hold the paper up so you can read what you want to say if you are
Yeah.
scared. But yes, I think this is going to help people, and of course, She Center. I know that if I was in Uganda, it would be easy for me to be on ground and do this. But my goal for She Center is for us to have mentorship programs on ground in university, to collaborate with universities, to collaborate with schools, because I was a student at school and I just gleaned from the few things preachers would come and tell us, but we didn't really get that much. Like, teachers would not bring for us things. We're just learning theory. No one is coming telling us how the real world actually works. Like, if imagine someone coming at the bus and telling you, my dear, I was here and these things in class did not teach me anything. What taught me everything was the fact that I went after what I wanted to do. Imagine someone in your class right now saying, you mean I can be like Linda? What did Linda do? This is what she did. So I need to not just be in class and get good grades, but I need to also use my opportunity and reach out to my professor and make change and be able to contribute something to this university, because now you ended up getting a job in the same place where you said, let me contribute this, because they saw value in you. So I hope people get this. And I'm a huge advocate for personal development. If I could, I would speak about this every day, but clearly people need to also learn that there's so much more out there that the world has given us so much. We are living in a world right now where if you don't take opportunities, maybe you're going to blame the government until you're tired.
Forever.
You shall blame the government to Yambe. It's okay. Well, rich young kids are becoming rich from zero. Someone comes from the village and they make it. You're there blaming the government with all your opportunities. So yes, thank you so much, Linda, once again.
Kale, thank you to Resty
All
for
right.
hosting me on here today.
problem.
It means everything to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that we
and
did this. It has been long overdue.
really, yeah, it has. We're
Yeah.
supposed to do it at the beginning of February.
Yeah, it's true. I know the new season took a long time, but now I'm at least reaching out to many people to interview them. All
Yeah,
right.
and I also wanted to tell you that
Yes,
well
please.
done with She Center.
Thank
Anything
you.
to impact lives, I feel like God blesses you specially in a special manner, because this is you putting up a platform that's helping people to learn and use these things to their advantage. So well done. Keep doing the Lord's work. He's going to bless you double.
Amen, amen. I believe that. Please help me spread the word by sharing our episodes with your friends, family, and followers. Let's amplify the voices of women, break barriers, challenge stereotypes, and create a network of support and empowerment. Together, we can bring about positive change and make this world a better place for all. This is She Center, the female podcast, where women's stories matter. I love you all. God bless.